So if you guys want to start your real estate journey but you don't have the capital yet, but you do have the confidence of an 80-year-old man and you have good negotiation skills, then this method is for you. This is real estate wholesaling. Hey, Mr. Yang.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, I've heard you're looking for a property in our area. So how much is your budget?
Around 6 million.
Yeah, I think I have the property for you. Wow, this is really a nice house. Hey, neighbor.
Hey.
Oh, I heard you guys are migrating. So
Yes,
are
we
you
are.
planning to sell your house?
Yeah, we're planning to sell the house actually at 5.5 million.
Oh, I see. You know what? I have partners who are real estate investors and we can give you an offer at 5 million.
Oh, sounds cool. So,
Yep. Please let me know if you're interested because we can give you the offer within the day.
yeah, I would. I'll just talk to my siblings first.
Okay, sounds good. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Mr. Yang, I have the perfect property for you. Here's a simple concept of wholesaling. It's basically selling houses without having to buy them first. So, paano nga ba yun? So, this simply involves finding a great, foreclosed, distressed, fixer-upper property, then putting it under contract, and then turn over the contract to your buyer or investor at a higher price. So therefore, your buyer will fund the property and you collect the difference between the selling price and the buying price. So for example, you were able to negotiate the property at 3 million with the seller. Then your investor is willing to buy it at 3.5 million. So you collect the difference of 500,000 pesos. But it's not as easy as that. So after you guys finalize the selling price, you need to put it on paper and prepare the contract. You have two ways to do this. First is the contract assignment. So what you can do here is submit an option to purchase. So ito yung agreement between you and the seller. So sa option to purchase, of course, you have to include the offer price and the time period. So ang pinaka-important here are the provisions. So you have to put a clause stating that the seller gives you permission to assign your contract to partners or investors. So it is important to understand that the assignment of a contract does not mean na binibenta mo yung property sa iba. You are simply assigning your rights to your investors for a profit, of course. So if your investor naman wants to give the money right away, you can enter into an earnest money agreement or pwede rin contract to sell kaagad. You can just add some provisions like what I've mentioned earlier. So simultaneously, you need to send your investor or buyer an assignment contract or transfer of rights. So dito, you can include and ask for certain fee from your buyer or investor. So usually, investors are already aware na you are going to profit from the transaction. And they don't have an issue, lalo na if the price is really discounted for them. So once payment is completed, the difference in price paid for by the buyer is the profit retained by you. The other method naman is called double closing. So it goes like this. Seller A sells to investor B, which is you. Then you sell the property naman to buyer C. So this method requires you to buy the property yourself and immediately sell it to another buyer. So may mga sellers kasi na ayaw ng may provisions or ayaw nila ng assignment contract or ayaw nila ng wholesaler. So you may ask, akala ko ba di kailangan ng fund sa wholesaling? So what you can do here is pwede kang magpa-finance sa investor. Siya yung magpa-fund ng pambili mo doon sa owner. And you may get an escrow service to secure the transaction. There are banks here in the Philippines that do escrow service. So kung ayaw talaga mag-finance sa investor, you have to have a standby money. And the downside here is there are tons of documentations. So from the original seller na ipapasa mo sa end buyer. So, another downside here is malaki yung magagastos mo sa closing cost because you have to transfer the property twice. But syempre, baka malaki naman yung difference when you bought it compared to when you sell it. So that's how you get your profit. The most difficult part of wholesaling is your approach and your negotiation skills. So you can approach this in two different ways. So the first one is to be transparent about wholesaling. So umpisa pa lang, tell the owner that you are into wholesaling. Some owners can be turned off But it really depends on how good you are in convincing the seller. Because some of the owners don't like na magpapatong ka pa dun sa property nila. So another approach is you introduce yourself as part of a group of investors, or you have partners looking for investment properties. So sometimes if the seller felt offended and found out the amount kung magkano mo siya pinasa sa investor, instead na mag-back out si owner sa transaction, you can just ask the investor to directly transact with the seller. And you can ask for a finder's fee. So finder's fee usually ranges from 5 to 10% of the property's value. But there's really no set fee in wholesaling because it's highly flexible. Ayun naman yung kagandahan dito. Most of the time, meron pang wholesaler sa part ng owner at meron ding wholesaler sa part naman ng investor. Marami silang naghahati-hati. So, another question is this legal in the Philippines? So technically, you're not selling naman the property. You only act as a middleman and you are only given the authority to assign the contract. You're not doing what the real estate brokers do here, which is advertising, marketing the house, asking for authority to sell, etc. So wholesaling ideally is just between the related parties. Kaya most of these transactions may NDA or non-disclosure agreement. So that's another real estate investing strategy for you. You can try it out. You don't need a capital for this. Probably just your laptop and your cell phone will do, plus your connections and your negotiation skills. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm Chris and I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bye!